Hello everybody, welcome back to Local Plug, episode 13.
13.
On top of it, we're here with Island Propaganda. Well, I mean, that's not your name, but that's your brand.
Yeah.
John.
Hey guys.
All right. Okay, you go.
I got a question first of all. When did you start getting into clothing?
Getting into, well, I mean, I think when I was like the broad spectrum of it, when I was I think it was 13, I kind of realized that I kind of was interested in the clothes and not looking awful all the time. So I kind of started. I was really into cardigans for a while, and then I was really into rolling up the bottom of my pants, and then I kind of got into a more chill kind of hoodie sort of thing. So. And then so I started Island Propaganda last summer. Not this summer, but the one before that, 2017, around June. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. So what kind of you mentioned how you kind of got into the whole chill kind of clothing thing, but what really inspired you to start the brand, to start making your own stuff?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I'll have to go back. When I was a little kid, I was always making stuff. I was making little videos of my dad's iMovie, and I was taking pictures. And I had a website for a social media platform, and I was 9, called The Fridge. Me and my dad wanted to start. That was when Facebook was I think starting to get pretty popular. But I always wanted to kind of create my own thing, and so the whole idea with Island Propaganda is that. I proud Newfoundlander. I don't sound like it at all, but I am really proud of Newfoundland, and I think it's great. I think the culture here is really good, and so I wanted to start something that kind of represented that, but not in a cool island, there's not in a kind of lame way. So there's a kind of a lot of there's a bit of a backstory I kind of got to go on, but I'll explain. So the whole idea is that my dad is from Toronto, so he's been living here for a while, but we have a lot of family coming back and forth and just kind of visiting the island and stuff like that. And even with people who haven't been here before, I always hear from people that when they come, it's just it kind of surprises them, because Newfoundland is such a unique place. We have our own dialect and the way we talk and our culture and our city is just, it's really unique, and I think it's kind of like a gem, people don't really realize that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's kind of a surprise to people. So the whole idea with Island Propaganda is that island, Newfoundland,
right,
and propaganda is something that isn't really what it seems at first.
Right.
So I kind of wanted to kind of bring that together with the name, and even with the first logo for the season 1 products, it's the island upside down. But when I first showed my sister, she thought it was a cow or something. That she had no idea what it was. But then when you flip it upside down, you realize that it's home. So the whole idea is just kind of not really what it seems at first. But then when you kind of look into it more, you realize that this Newfoundland is home.
Awesome.
Very good. So did you kind of create the logo based off that, you want to make something that doesn't really seem isn't exactly what it is, it's exactly what you think when you look at it, but when you really look into it, it is.
Yeah, the whole idea of I've always really been we were just talking about Shutter Island before this interview started. I've always really been in movies, and I really love when things have a kind of a meaning to it, and
right,
you can kind of look in. So yeah, I wanted it to have a bit of a backstory, and so the logo kind of came after the name, and it just kind of evolved from there.
How'd you move to your season 2 logo?
Well, season 2 is just a different design that I wanted to. It's kind of a completely different look. Mm-hmm. I do really I still love the season 1 kind of look, and I know a lot of people still like that. But I wanted to do something a little bit darker, a kind of a night theme with season 2. With the posts now and stuff like that. So the product is called LSOE01, and so this is the O1 in white and the O in black, and that's just an acronym for for the product, but that's the name. So
cool.
Yeah, I've noticed you said you're into films and stuff like that. I've noticed on your page it's very aesthetic.
Yeah, well, I was looking at that Back to the Future poster you guys got. I love movies. I always was watching a movie before I came here, and and that kind of roots back to like making movies on like iMovie, you know, with like my dad and stuff, like when I was younger. But I just love movies. I love the aesthetic. Like I was talking to my dad about this yesterday, actually, the whole idea of like TV shows versus movies, because this is just totally off topic, but I'll go on.
We get off topic.
Yeah. But I do love TV shows. I've watched like Breaking Bad and like all that stuff. But I love how when you watch a movie, it can kind of like engulf you in this like sort of world and kind of aesthetic, like within like a 2-hour period, and you get kind of like sucked into it. Yeah. And I think that's great. So I kind of like, that's what I want to have with the brand too. Like kind of have a look and a feel to the whole thing, like with the meaning and the name and the aesthetic and everything like that. So, yeah.
I like that. I like that. It's not just like a shirt.
It's a good vibe.
Yeah, it's like like an atmosphere to it. Right?
Yeah. It's kind of like an idea. Like, you know, I am really proud of this place, and I feel like there's so much potential for Newfoundland, like with like streetwear and fashion and stuff like that we haven't really like, you know, people haven't really touched on yet. So yeah.
So would you kind of? I'm not really like into clothing that much, but like. Streetwear is obviously a big thing now. Yeah. Because of like the Supreme and Bape and all that stuff. Yeah. But would you consider yourself more of like a streetwear brand, or would you consider like kind of like a modern clothing brand almost?
I would like to be. There are different places that I want to bring the brand. Yeah. In time. Right now, I just kind of want it to be a local brand that people can be really proud of. Mm-hmm. If they want to call it streetwear, they can. If they want to call it just fashion or just clothes, but I would like to move away from the whole just like support local kind of thing. I want it to be a little bit more probably on the streetwear and
cool.
But yeah,
that's a big thing. Like kind of I like a lot of people we talk to on here say that like they're all for like the local scene and they're all for it, but like eventually the goal is to kind of surpass that and get out of the local scene.
Yeah. And I think that I love, there's so much stuff going on right now in St. John's and Paradise and just Newfoundland. It's just like there's a lot of different brands people are starting with and stuff like that. And I think it's great. I love it. And I find that people like really try to bring each other up like with like podcasts and just collabs and stuff like that, which I think is great. But I kind of want to keep my brand away from the whole local like that, having that label on it, just because I don't want to just add another like brand into the pile. I don't want to like suffocate people with the whole support local thing, Yeah. So
I agree with that. Also, I kind of think like Newfoundland definitely has a lot of potential, right? But I think it's kind of like it's kind of a bit of a trap in a sense. Like if you're trying to start something here, you want to expand as much as you can, obviously. Yeah. You can't really do that very much when you're in Newfoundland.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, too. Like, I have family that's involved with, like, music and stuff like that, and a cousin, he's gone. He had to move to Toronto just because there's only so much potential in Newfoundland before you have to expand.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But I do think that there is still so much that can be here, Like, I don't want people to jump the gun and be like, all right, well, if I want to start a streetwear brand, I gotta, like, move away, I gotta go to like New York or something. Like there's so much here that hasn't been untouched yet, so I'm trying to break into that a little bit.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think the culture here is pretty rich, like you were saying earlier, how like unique it is, and there's a lot of people here. Like that's kind of what we try to do, right? Like expose the people here who are like really doing something for like the province, and it's just
doing something for the island.
Yeah.
I think I love it. I love when people promote Newfoundland. I feel like just from having family and different people coming and being so amazed by like the vibe and the people and just everything, like I love it, and I love when people are proud of the island as well.
Yeah, the sad thing is though, like if you go like anywhere in the U.S. and you ask someone like, hey, do you know where Newfoundland is? So
they're
like, what?
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, or they'll get like mixed up with like the whole sealskin thing.
Yes.
That's what we're known for. You know, which is.
And I had the guy actually approach me and my dad. We were in Florida, and he was like, where are you guys from? He worked at Disney.
Yeah.
And we told him, and he's like, geez, that's some far up north. I'm like, we're more east, but.
Yeah, pretty eastern. Yeah. It's up there, I suppose, but. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of okay with the fact that there's not a lot of people around the world that know about Newfoundland. I just want, like I go on like Visco and Twitter and stuff like that, and I see so many posts like I just want to get off this island, I just want to like leave, and of course like everyone wants to go away and see the world and stuff like that, right. But I don't want people to lose that like pride of like being proud of somewhere and where you're from. So I'm trying to kind of help that out a little bit with the brand.
Yeah. So how do you get your stock? Like, do you order most of your stuff online and then get like logos printed afterwards, or?
Well, there are different shops. There's a lot of different shops around town actually where you can bulk order just like different shirts or hoodies or whatever you want, and then they'll bring it in for you, and then they'll help you. You can send them the design, and they'll help you put it on, and then you get it from them. It's really I really like when I see different pages and different brands and stuff, because I think people are starting to catch on now that like it's not as hard as they think. Like you can do it if you want. Like there's so many places around town that'll help you out. So I do it locally. Yeah.
Cool. So do you kind of see your brand expanding into stores, or are you going to try to strictly keep it to yourself?
It's a great question. I would definitely like to have it in some shops. I feel like you kind of have to be careful with that, because the store your stuff is in kind of represents in a way the product a little bit, Okay. So you got to be careful with choosing who you. And I've had small shops before approach me and ask if I was interested in having some of my stuff. I won't like say any names or anything like that, but my kind of overall the thing is what I say or what I think is that I'd rather be very secure in putting my products in a store that I know is going to represent it well, rather than somewhere that it doesn't really go with the vibe, and it doesn't really so to answer your question, definitely in the future, it would be cool. But
even like opening up your own store is a good idea.
Yeah, I would love that. I think there's only so much like aesthetic and vibe you can have when it comes to like an Instagram page and your actual clothes. I love going to like Fogtown downtown, for example. It's a great example. Like you go in and it's like there's nowhere else like that in town, So I love the idea of like having like a totally like customized shop, and so that would be sick.
100%.
Yeah.
So we were talking about like other local talent, say like there's a lot of like we did like a lot of hip hop artists, and like we did other clothing brand and other like entrepreneurs and stuff like that. What other companies do you like clothing do you see as competition?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to name off. I know there's a lot of different pages that you'll see come up every now and again. I don't know if it's a great idea to say who is the direct, because I kind of want to I don't really want to kind of like get the lanes mixed up. I kind of want to stay on my own straight path, and I think what everyone's doing right now, like you had Wave on before, and I know there's Wild Hood. There's another one, and there's Elsewhere as well. He's a guy in my school, and I love like all the people I haven't talked to Wave, Chad. I haven't spoken to Chad before, but I have talked to Syed from Wild Hood and Matt from Elsewhere, and they're all great, So I love everybody who's doing local stuff.
That's kind of like the vibe here. Like everyone's pretty supportive of each other.
Yeah.
It's not really like that much competition, I wouldn't say. Like obviously, like you want to be the best at what you do.
Yeah, well, you can make a competition if you want to.
You can,
And I don't know if it's been like that before here, where it's like cutthroat kind of competition to see who can be on top, because we haven't really had a Newfoundland brand totally be on top yet, so there's no bar to surpass right now. I think everyone's trying to get there at the same time, so we're just like lucky, I think, to have everybody try to like bring each other up while we're doing it.
For sure, I agree with that. And it's not even like just the clothing. Like I know, like all the all the rappers and stuff we have on, right? They all say the same thing. Like I'm not gonna diss anyone, and I'd love to work with like anybody that's down to work with me.
And even from like a business perspective, I don't know if when you're trying to build yourself up, it's a great idea to be like, oh, like, fuck that brand, I hate those guys, you know, like, but yeah, that's, I do love when everybody, like, supports. I have a few buddies who are doing music stuff right now, and it's the same thing, like, that. It's something that I love about this place is that everyone just wants to, like, promote and bring each other up and, like, you know, so
yeah, that can be good for, like, collaborative things too, right?
Yeah, doing collabs and stuff.
Yeah,
like that,
like, have you ever considered that, like collabs with other collabs?
Yeah, well, I've done different shoots with different photographers and stuff like that, and when you can post about that, or when you post about that, you can promote the photographer and you can promote yourself. So it's kind of like a collab.
Yeah.
I haven't done any clothing collabs yet, but might be something to look into soon.
Yeah, for sure. So, what kind of, I don't know, well, you kind of went into this already, but what kind of, like, separates your, like, brand, your whole vibe from the other brands that are going around, you know?
Well, I think that's kind of up to whoever wants to really think about it, you know? Like, I try to, whenever I get the chance, kind of explain the whole vibe and the whole idea, and just kind of explain it as best I can for people to kind of analyze it themselves. And if I do have something that's, like, truly good, I feel like people will be able to differentiate. So just the whole aesthetic is really important to me, the whole vibe and the kind of lifestyle that you're selling, because you can sell clothes, but at the same time you're kind of selling, like, a lifestyle. You're selling, like,
a message.
Yeah, exactly. So I try to keep that pretty clear.
So we were talking about, like, stores, being in stores earlier. What's, like, your opinions on a pop-up shop?
Pop-ups would be cool. Pop-ups. I haven't done a pop-up before. But I'd definitely be down. I know people like to do them at, like, tournaments, schools and stuff like that. So a pop-up definitely would be cool. I think it's definitely, like, a good step to get to that, you know, end goal of, like, store or whatever you want. So, yeah.
It's good. That's, like, a good bridge. I see there's like a good few that come around Mon.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we've seen like Sugar Mamas, like stuff like that. Like there's pop-up shops around.
Yeah, people like doing the pop-ups.
Yeah, there's a good few. They're, like, a great way to expand, honestly, because if you go to, say, somewhere like Mun, the amount of people that don't know about you that are there, and that they'll tell their friends will tell their friends, everyone that goes to Mun will know, right?
Yeah.
That's a huge step, obviously.
Yeah, it's a good strategy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've seen, like, a lot of different people, obviously, to model your clothes and stuff. How do you kind of find people? Are they, like, your friends, or do you reach out to them?
Yeah, I've had friends before. I've reached out to different people. I'm doing a photo kind of collab right now with Josh Parsons. He's like a local, like, videographer and photographer, and a friend now. And we did a shoot, and he had a girl come in, and then we kind of talked, and then we did our shoot, and it was sick. So yeah, different friends. And just reaching out to people and having other people come in and stuff like that. So kind of a mixed bag there.
Yeah.
How do you come to work with these, like, different photographers? Like you mentioned Josh.
Yeah.
Like, how do you come to work with these people?
Just different people, like, reaching out, or you reaching out to them. That's kind of the beauty of social media. Like, if you see someone local and you like what they're doing, you can just, like, directly message them.
Well, you know, that's like what we did for you.
Yeah, exactly, and it worked out. You know, so that's like definitely a great thing. I think just reaching out to different people through social media and stuff like that.
And most people are super, like,
chill.
open to it. Or,
people are down. Yeah.
Like you said, like, it's kind of like a big old, like, group thing, you know?
Yeah.
You can message just about anyone here, and they'll be down. Like, they'll talk to you about anything. You know what I mean?
And that's the whole thing too. Like, there's so much potential here. Everyone just wants to bring each other up and collab, and you know, like, I think I'm excited to see where the whole scene with, like, clothing and photography and music is in, like, 10 years from now. You know?
For sure.
Yeah, hopefully, like, I really want, like, some musicians and some brands to just really blow up. I think that'd be a super cool thing for the province.
Yeah.
Like, we have our local scene, obviously. Like, you got, like, 99.1, you got, like, 94.7. Like, obviously, like, it's a dream to be on the radio, but to get off the island kind of deal.
Yeah.
To go more of, instead of provincially, go like nationally. You know what I mean?
Well, what would your guys' like ideal be? What do you think?
Jeez,
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Originally, we were talking about doing radio. And like playing music and stuff, and we went to one radio about it actually, and they were down for it, but they had a lot of restrictions on it, and we didn't really want to limit our like creativity like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So we moved into like the podcast and
like staying independent.
Yeah, we're just kind of like going with the podcast and see where it
just
takes
going
us.
with the flow.
Yeah.
Obviously, like if it blows up, YouTube's a crazy thing. Like, shit can happen overnight. You know.
Oh yeah, just like that. You know, you just tap into something that people like connect with or people want, and that's the thing too. Like people are dying for stuff to pop in Newfoundland. You know, people really want it to happen.
They do, yeah. And I think it could happen, man. There's a lot of people here who have really good like a lot of talent.
It's crazy.
Once
it's gonna happen,
they can get on the map. Like we're trying to put them on the map. Like just
it'll
really
happen.
Off.
Give it time, but it'll happen for sure.
Yeah. So do you plan to continue doing like seasons of clothes? And can you give us like any insight into the future of the seasons?
Well, definitely just like with the new design, there's a lot that I want to do with that, and adding to this whole season 2 lineup. Season 1 had like the hoodies and the crew necks and baseball tees for a short period of time, and now so there's season 2. So I'd like to do like different designs, different colors, maybe down the road season 3. So we'll see. I'm still figuring it out right now.
Yeah. Have you ever thought of sort of like seasonal type clothing, like
doing jackets for the
jackets
winter.
for like fall winter sort of stuff,
shorts.
like tank tops, all that.
Yeah, I have been thinking about there are some crazy trends you see on like Instagram and stuff, like like people with these giant jackets on. You ever see those?
Yeah.
Like the size of them, you know. I think it would be really cool just to do like one, you know, just have it totally customized and something like that. But
cool.
That's like there's a like Golf Wang, like Tyler the Creator's brand. That's something that I admire with him, is that when he started golf, he put the logo on everything, you know, and that's kind of a Supreme thing too. Like he put it on like a baseball bat and a brick and like nunchucks, you know.
Yeah.
So I'd love to do stuff like that.
Have you ever thought about going into like bottoms, like pants, shorts?
Yeah. I'd like to do like sweatpants or shorts or maybe leggings if that goes with the brand, you know. But be down.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like Supreme when it first started, they were like $30 for a t-shirt. And then all of a sudden they did like, I think the way they really grew was they did a pop-up in New York. And everyone was like, holy shit, like this is sick.
Yeah.
And then their stock prices went from like 10% to like 300.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And so now everything's super expensive. You see something with Supreme written on it, you're like, oh shit, that's expensive.
Yeah, it's just like golden, you know?
It's like designer brand now,
It's
you
like
know?
Champion too.
Yeah, they kind of moved in.
Yeah, like Champion was in like Walmart and was like looked down upon, and now it's like
when I was 12,
like, oh shit, like you got Champion.
Yeah, when I was 12, my dad brought me to Payless in the mall, or maybe I was like 13. Whenever Payless, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, can we get some like Nike shoes or something like that? He was like, no, like these Champion shoes right here, these are great, and they were like super cheap. Like I think they were like, I don't know, like $50 or something. I can't really remember, but I can remember thinking Champion and being like, oh my god, no, no way. And now like I'm literally wearing it, you know. So and I think a lot of that came from like I think A$AP Rocky did a piece for Champion.
He popularized a lot of things too.
Yeah.
Like that's the sort of thing that like would even be good around the local scene, like if
influencer.
Say if you seen like I don't know, if there was like a huge artist here and then like they came out on stage like wearing like one of the local brands. Yeah. That would instantly people will be like, okay, I want that. Like he's wearing it, I want it.
That's what happened with East Coast Lifestyle. Like Ed Sheeran wore one of his shirts during a show, and that was like that night. That was their biggest like shoot with like orders and stuff like that. Yeah. So influencers is and that's another thing. That's like why people want to promote the whole like music scene here too, because you can help each other. You know, like. If you make good connections, then one person can bring up another person, then you can bring up the other person, and it's just like, so it adds to the whole scene, I think.
What would you say is your biggest success so far?
Biggest success? That's a good question. I don't know, like, I love the fact that people support the idea, you know? And even, like, just with the hoodies, with the Season 1 stuff, I was ordering in, like, hundreds of hoodies. Yeah. And people were actually buying them, you know? Like, that felt like a success to me. Yeah. Just for people, like, supporting the whole local scene. I think it's great. So I'd say that. It's kind of a broad answer, but it feels like a success to me.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. Like, even, like, me and Zach, when we post a video, and, like, we know that we have people waiting to watch it, that's, like, a super humbling feeling almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, like, it's kind of crazy. Like, you post a video, you know that people are going to watch.
Yeah, you have, like, that core audience.
Yeah, right. It was really weird, like, when we uploaded the Pete Ice Seshwise interview, and it went, like, it got crazy amount of views. Like, it's probably, like, 800 now. Yeah. And then after that, I was kind of worried. I was like, man, like, what if our next video gets, like, nothing? Because everyone just, like, they got what they wanted to see, right? Yeah. But it's, like, it's going steady, and it's just, like, it's a really crazy feeling, actually.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, too. Like, once you start putting out content, like, you'll get that like, kind of base of people that will follow everything, you know, like I think the statistic is like only 10% of your Instagram followers are actually active on your posts and stuff like that. So you can appreciate the people, like if you're posting a video and there's like a very constant like 100 views, you know, like the same people are coming back and supporting you the whole time, you know. So
it's crazy. That's why I think, like, I don't know if there should be like a way to sort of limit things on Instagram, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how you could do it. Sort of like the YouTube post notifications deal. Like, you subscribe, but then there's like a level past that, and it's like people use the notifications.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, people will gain hype for their page by having it on private. So like you have to be accepted in, you know. Yeah. And I was talking to Josh about this. He was doing the shirts, and we were talking about the whole idea of having 500 followers in some cases is better than having 10,000. Yeah. Because when you have that 500 that like actually sticks by like everything you do and they'll support it, rather than having 10,000 people who just like flick by or like won't actually buy it or listen to the podcast. Yeah. You know? So
I mean, you see like huge Instagram people, like, I don't know, like we'll say like ASAP Rocky again. Yeah. He's got like however many million followers. He gets like 100,000 likes on a post. Yeah. Which is still, it's obvious, crazy
still
numbers,
a lot,
but it's not like however million followers he has.
Yeah, well, I think Drake just got to, I like was looking at his page earlier today, because he posted a picture with like a bra, and I was like, okay, cool. So I went on, and I think he has like 50 million followers now. Yeah. Which is crazy, and like I find he has like a constant like million likes per post, you know? So that same like crowd is like following him along, you know?
Right.
Which I think is cool.
It's a lot easier to follow someone's account than to like every picture and comment and like actually interact and just kind of instead of just like sit on the sidelines and like you know. Like,
well, that's the whole sort of thing. Like, you only follow them once unless you unfollow, and you can like as many pictures as you want, but you might not be on Instagram every day, but the follow will still be there if you leave. You know?
Yeah, and like you said, it's easier to kind of follow a page rather than go through and like everything. And the way that you'll get people actually follow your page is to have like kind of a vibe and like a message that you're sending, you know. So I think that's important. But yeah, it's nice when you get that like core base of followers and fans. You know, it's cool.
So sort of getting away from that, back to the clothes again.
Yeah, right.
Did you design your logo yourself?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah, I that one took me some time because I never really did any design or anything like that. But when I had that, I was pretty proud, and then I started working more with designing and stuff like that, and then that one came along. So,
What sort of, like, I don't know if it's a program that you use or.
This is gonna sound. I never know how to feel when I say this, but
paint.
That one, paint. Yeah, no, that one was designed on. I don't even know what the website is. Like, it was just like not a flashy like website, just for you to design. Yeah. And I don't know. I was like, this may not be the most expensive like website or like program for designing, but like if I can get something good out of it, like you know, like
100%.
You know, it's like more quality than kind of absolutely. Like. And then this one I designed on my phone, so same thing.
That's cool. That's even impressive, like, to design that on your phone. That looks sick.
Yeah, well, and the people who I have told that to, they're kind of surprised, but I don't think you need like a real expensive like Photoshop subscription to make something good. Like if you have a good idea and you want to, you'll work hard to make it however you want.
Like the way I think of it is, if it's good, it's good.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Totally agree.
It doesn't matter how you get there. If it's good, it's good.
Yeah, I agree.
End of story.
Yeah. That's kind of my like mindset when I go into design. You know, like I don't need to be spending crazy amounts of money to make something good.
Right.
You know.
Like me and Zach were looking into the whole merch sort of deal, and like we were just gonna have our logo sort of like in the same logo where the champion one is.
Yeah.
And so it's really not difficult. Like you can literally look up so many sites, and you can go on and pick the exact like import your image sort of deal.
Yeah, and there are ways you can do now. There's a line I think where you kind of have to. You got to make sure that what you're getting is good. You know.
Right.
Sure. And a lot of the online stuff can be a little sketchy sometimes. You know. But again, like just going out and kind of researching different shops like around town and making some calls and stuff like that. Like there's a lot locally.
Yeah, there's a lot of information to gather. Like when we were thinking about our merch, we were talking to Wave, like how they get like their stuff, and then they were like they're telling us how they did it. Like everyone's super open to share information.
People just want to help. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so you've been at this over a year now.
It's been about a year. Yeah.
How fresh is your season 2 logo?
It's pretty fresh.
Like when that come out?
These. Well, these are already out right now. I thought you were just asking me if it's cool. So I think it's cool. So these are out now. It's a bit of a slow. We're not trying to just throw everything on the page. We're trying to kind of introduce everything in waves. You know, so we're not trying to suffocate people with it. But yeah. So these are out now, and you can get those if you want to just like DM to purchase or whatever.
Yeah. So your main sort of like outlet is Instagram.
Instagram, yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever think about like a website?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have a domain bot and everything like that. Nice. But I think there's a point when you get to a point when it's very necessary to have like a website and stuff like that, or like a shop or whatever. But the demographic of people that I'm selling to right now, a lot of these people. Like Instagram, Snapchat, people in between our age, like early 20s and stuff, like this is a lot of what we know, and it's like so easy for us. Yeah. And that kind of goes with the whole like shifting of like what it really means to run a business. You know, like I don't know, like 30 years ago, you need like an office and you need your computer set up and you need your books and everything. And I run this whole business from my phone. The whole thing. So I love the idea of like trying new sort of ways to promote stuff, like designing stuff on your phone or running the promotional stuff through a social media page. Like there's I like that. So the website will definitely come.
Right.
But right now it's the Instagram. So yeah.
Cool. You got anything else to ask?
No. If you want to give like just tell a camera like your colors and your prices and how to get in contact with you.
Sure. Okay. Well, the season 1 stuff, you can just go on the page highlights and you'll see all the hoodies there. You can message me if you want to know what's in stock, what colors and sizes and stuff. The hoodies are $45, and you can see the other products like crew necks and stuff like that. And the new shirts, it's the LSOE or the LSOE01, and it comes in black and white, and they're $35 each. And you can same thing, just message me if you want one, and
Cool, and your Instagram ad's just like Island Propaganda.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I think that's it for us.
That's it for us.
Oh, cool. Thanks, boys.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
See you.